Less than a week after the US re-elected Donald Trump to the White House and the coalition government in Berlin falling apart, Germany is looking for direction and how to find its place in the world. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz said on Sunday that he would be willing to call a vote of confidence in Parliament before Christmas, a move that would pave the way for snap elections. Scholz, whose coalition collapsed last Wednesday, had suggested holding a vote of confidence in his government on January 15th with a snap election in March. But the Conservative opposition, led by Friedrich Merz, wants an election in January. A confidence vote is a necessary precursor to an election. Lars Holter is with Deutsche Welle and joins me from Berlin now. Lars, let's look at the Germany and the US for a minute. What can you tell us?
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's interesting to start with Germany and the US, both in the midst of a major change here. In the US, obviously, we will have Donald Trump back in the White House. And we know from his first term, as well as watching him throughout the campaign, that he will not be interested in the same kind of partnership with Germany and with Europe in general that we have had for decades, a partnership that worked both on a political but also on an economic level. And then we have the question too, who will speak for Germany in future, because it looks like we'll be having snap elections here too. Over the weekend, Friedrich Merz came out with a bit of a push. He is the leader of the Christian Democrats, and with that party leading in current polls, he might very well be the next chancellor. He says he knows how to deal with the US under Donald Trump and how to establish a symbiotic relationship. He says, for example, that he would commit to buy fighter jets from the US at a time when obviously the US pushes Germany to spend more on defense, but at the same time he would push for those jets to get maintenance done in Germany with the necessary plants built and the jobs created here. Well, sounds like a plan, and yet we'll have to see what happens over the next couple of weeks.
And what exactly is the plan for Germany? What do we know about snap elections and the schedule for it?
Well, not much at all, except that Chancellor Olaf Scholz said that he is looking at having elections in March, but that doesn't seem to be a good idea in the eyes of, I guess, most Germans, as well as the politicians throughout the parties, and especially the corporate world. The CEO of Deutsche Bank said just before the weekend that every month we're losing now as a result of this power vacuum in Berlin will cost the German economy a year in terms of the country's economic comeback. Many others agree that it's important to elect a new and a strong government as quickly as possible, especially in times of turmoil and with the US changing course. As for the current government, they haven't really explained why it should all take that long. Last I heard over the weekend is that some people said the country doesn't want to have a political campaign overshadow Christmas, or that it would be important to calmly start into the new year. All sounds like a bunch of nonsense, of course, because an election most certainly doesn't ruin Christmas, whereas wasting a lot of time and being without leadership could actually ruin quite a lot for Germany.
Thank you, Lars. Lars Holter reporting from DW Berlin.